Today I'm sharing the 10 must-have intermittent fasting products that I use every day as nutritionist. These have helped me a lot along my intermittent fasting journey over the past 7 years and can definitely make your experience a lot easier. Let's dive into it. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance, and I will have a blog post linked down description below with all of the resources that I discussed today if you want a visual of that. But the first thing that I found so important is to have some type of thermos for your smoothie, like a good thermos. You don't necessarily need to have a smoothie when you are intermittent fasting, but I have found it's one of the easier meals to incorporate as a first or a second meal. Because with a properly made smoothie that has protein, fat, and fiber, like what we talked about on this channel and in my programs all the time, you can have that pretty much anywhere. If you need to break your fast in your car, in a meeting, at a soccer game, whatever it might be, smoothie is really easy to just sip on. You don't have to sit down, whip out all of these tools and heat up your food. You can just sip on a good smoothie. So investing in a good thermos to keep your smoothie cool can be really useful. All you do is you blend your smoothie earlier in the day when you're leaving your house, and then when you want to go to actually drink it, you just give it a shake and you're good to go. Okay, the second tool that is really useful, especially when you're first starting, is to have some type of blood glucose and ketone monitor. So this is one that I use. It's by Keto Mojo. I've talked about it a couple of times before, and this is the little lancet. This isn't something that's necessary. You obviously can use intermittent fasting without using something like this. But for those who are more data driven and if you want to see how your body's responding and what you might need to change, this can be really great. Because intermittent fasting does naturally raise your ketone levels when you are in a fasted state, and that signals that your body is burning fat as fuel. It can let you know if your body has started to become more metabolically flexible. And if your ketone meter also tests blood sugar, which this one does, you can also get additional insight on how your body's responding to certain meals and what might better serve your goals by measuring your postprandial blood sugar level. I love the Keto Mojo because it's one of the least expensive options. This one is 6 or 7 years old. I really need to get the updated one because I see that they have a cool new app now where you can keep track of everything. But their strips are fairly inexpensive and it's very common sense. Which in my complete intermittent fasting bundle, I go into what to look for in terms of ketones if you do want to measure that. So if you guys want to check out my complete intermittent fasting bundle that gives you more of those step-by-step details of intermittent fasting, I'll have that linked down in the description below as well. Okay, the next thing that you want to make sure you have is some type of good coffee. Coffee, especially in the beginning when you first start intermittent fasting, can be a really great tool because it is a natural appetite suppressant. Most people will find that once they start intermittent fasting, that in the beginning, they are going to feel a little hungry during the fast, and that's normal because you're used to eating all throughout the day. And then over time, as the body gets better at burning fat as fuel, you just don't really even get hungry during the fast anymore. It's pretty awesome. But especially during those beginning phases, you want to make sure that you have a good high quality coffee that can help to naturally suppress your appetite and get you to your break fast. I personally use Purity coffee. It's mold free, it's organic. For myself, my history of anxiety, it's the only one that I actually found works for my body. I also have a discount code with them. I believe it's 20% off. So I will have that in the blog post as well if you guys want to check out Purity coffee. Literally the only coffee I've been drinking for 7 years. Okay, next up we have coconut oil. Now coconut oil has definitely had its heyday, but it is actually still really useful because you can actually use a little bit of coconut oil in your coffee to make keto coffee to help naturally suppress your appetite even further when you're in those beginning stages of intermittent fasting. You can use anywhere from even a very small amount, like a half a teaspoon, all the way up to a tablespoon, depending on what your body needs. It sounds gross. It sounds like it'll be oily, but when you actually blend it in, it makes it really frothy and delicious. Coconut oil is really rich in medium chain triglycerides that are easily used by the liver as fuel. Plus, they also help to naturally raise ketone levels, so you kind of get a twofer there. I'll have my keto coffee recipe and tutorial in that blog post, but I'll also have it linked up here if you guys want to check that out. Okay, next up we have is a really big water bottle. So I finally gave in and got a Stanley. I know, so basic, but I love it. I found that I drink so much more water with this massive jug because you only need to fill it up twice, maybe 3 times throughout the day versus 8 times if you have a smaller glass. And with intermittent fasting, you do lose a lot of water and a lot of electrolytes during the fasted state, and that can cause dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. So you really want to make sure that you're actively getting in enough water. This is 40 ounces, and I usually drink about 2 to 3 of these depending on my activity level for that day. This one used to be my water bottle, but I think it is only 20 ounces if I remember correctly. And I just had to fill it up so many times throughout the day that I would even get a little lazy and forget to fill it up and I just wouldn't drink as much water. So having a really big water bottle can be very useful. Obviously I have the Stanley, but there's so many like other brands that are less expensive too that you can definitely get as well. And it's like a bicep curl every time you grab it. Okay, next up, and this one is so important, is to have a really high quality protein powder. So with intermittent fasting, a lot of people just think it comes down to not eating during a certain time and then eating during another. And that's all you have to do. But that really isn't the case if you actually want to achieve a body recomposition goal, if you want to lose body fat, if you don't want to be hungry, if you want to feel really great and not have sugar cravings. It is so important that you're getting enough protein during your eating window. And when you have a smaller eating window, like with intermittent fasting, it can be pretty difficult to get all your protein needs in because protein is so satiating. I talk a lot on this channel about the importance of getting protein in and quality protein sources because not all proteins are created equal, and you're definitely going to see different results in terms of body fat loss and body composition depending on the protein that you're using. So I found it really useful, and this is the reason why I created my zero sugar protein powder, to actually have a high quality protein powder that can help to support your goals. My protein powder is zero sugar, just uses monk fruit, and it's really easy to help significantly boost the protein content of a meal. So like if you're having chia pudding, a grain-free oatmeal, or if you're making a smoothie, or if you just have the protein shaken with some almond milk on the side, you can get an extra 20 grams of protein really simply. And I have found through my clients that women tend to really undereat on protein, and this is why so many women tend to crave sugary sweets or tend to snack and graze. So this can be a really great tool along your journey with intermittent fasting, especially if you're looking to achieve a weight loss goal. So I will have my protein powder linked down description below in the blog post, but you can also find it at autumnlnutrition.com/shop. Okay, next up we have apple cider vinegar. This is a fresh bottle that I just got because my last one was empty from having it so much recently. But apple cider vinegar along with lemon actually, so you could use both kind of interchangeably. Both of these acids or vinegars have been found to help really stabilize blood sugar levels after a meal. And with intermittent fasting, when we go to break our fast, we really want to make sure that we're not getting these huge spikes in blood sugar, because these huge spikes in blood sugar cause a really big spike in our storing hormone insulin. When that's high, fat burning is turned off. It also can take longer to shift back into state of fat burning. So I like to use diluted apple cider vinegar or adding some lemon juice into my water before my first meal to help make sure I'm getting those studied benefits of that more stable blood sugar level. Okay, next up we have electrolytes, which you can get this through a couple different ways. I like to get it from something like Element or from regular salt. My favorite salts are Celtic sea salt and Redmond's real salt. And remember how I mentioned the importance of water during the fasted state? Electrolytes are just as important when it comes to intermittent fasting, because you not only lose water, you lose a lot of sodium. And that's where people will get these common symptoms of intermittent fasting like headache or low energy or muscle fatigue. It's also the similar type of symptoms that people will get from having the keto flu. Ultimately, it's the same cause of insulin dipping down and releasing a lot of water and sodium. Thankfully, that can be easily solved by just making sure that you get electrolytes. So I like Element because it was actually designed for intermittent fasting or lower carb eating. And I'll usually use 1 packet per day, sometimes 2 depending on how I'm feeling. Or in a pinch, I'll literally use like a heavy pinch of salt like Redmond salt or Celtic sea salt. Okay, the next intermittent fasting essential is to have some type of supportive group and plan. This one is especially important because it not only provides you the support to help you make that lifestyle change, which change can always be difficult if you're doing it on your own, but having some type of plan also gives you the tools and resources to actually apply those principles and do it in a way that will support your goals. This can be online or in person. Maybe you have a friend or a family member or your husband or wife is going to be doing this along with you, and that's great. But if not, having some type of online group can be amazing. You can bounce off ideas, get motivation, get inspiration from one another, and just share your journey, which really cannot be underestimated. So we have the private AN Facebook group with over 17,000 members all across the world, all sharing their journey. It is a really amazing, really inspirational group, just so positive, so happy, and just a great resource. And we also have my complete intermittent fasting bundle that members of the Facebook group are using, which gives meal by meal planning, the step-by-step intermittent fasting details, how to apply intermittent fasting to your specific goals, over 100 delicious recipes, how to add exercise, the 3-week workout program that goes along with it. There's so many resources to help guide you along your way. And especially when you're first starting, it can break through a lot of that confusion and just give you that exact plan and make things really simple. So I will have the complete intermittent fasting bundle and the Facebook group linked in the blog post down below. Okay, the 10th thing you'll want to make sure you have as part of your intermittent fasting toolkit are really simple meals that you can have in the pantry or in the freezer that are ready ready to go. Because intermittent fasting does require that smaller eating window, you wanna make sure that you have fast and easy meals that can be prepped or are already made during those times when maybe you're getting home later or just timing is off. So some things I always like to have on hand just for a really fast and easy meal to whip up in a pinch is frozen cauliflower rice that can be made into like a cauliflower rice burrito bowl, canned tuna so you already have a pre-cooked protein source that can just live in your pantry for whenever you need it, Greek yogurt and cottage cheese, which both take like a couple weeks to go bad, so you can have that in the fridge for an easy high protein option, eggs, which also take a while to go bad and can be made so fast, the high quality protein powder so you can make a smoothie if you need to for dinner, peanut butter or almond butter for some high quality fats to add into your smoothie to make it a meal, and a variety of different cheeses, which also are very high in protein and high quality fats to help keep you satiated. These are all things that can live in either your pantry, your fridge, or your freezer for a week or more, can also be used in different meals that you have planned during the week, but in a pinch can make something very quickly. In fact, if you wanna check out some really fast and easy meals that you can make in 10 minutes or less, make sure you check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.